I think the biggest thing we look for is personnel. I think we're very personnel oriented on our special teams, so we're trying to figure out, okay, who are the really good cover players, and let's make sure we're doing a good job of getting them blocked, and so we can get more return yards. And then who are their good, whether it's the returner or their good blockers, right? And let's try to see if we can't create mismatches. And if one of their blockers is a linebacker, let's see if we can get a speed guy on him, or if we get a bigger guy on him. So we try to just, we're specific in what we do personnel-wise, just kind of like the offense and defense are, right? When the offense goes into 11 or 10 personnel, defense, good chance they may sub and go nickel. We try to do the same thing special teams-wise. Yeah, look, I think that us as coaches and players, we have the greatest job in the world, getting to coach professional football or play professional football, and it comes with a lot of great things. And unfortunately, there's a couple negative things that come with it as well. And so, JT means a lot to me, and it's not, only that losing the production of him as a player. I'm going to miss him as a person, the relationship. You spend 6 years with someone, and, just that smile he had every day and our conversations we had. So, like, to me, it's, I'm gonna miss him as a person. That's what makes it even more difficult. Yeah, look, I think that comes into play, and I think that comes into play on a lot of teams. Like, I look at the Cardinals, and I think that number 20 for them, their PP on punt and their returner, and I thought he was a really good football player, good special teams football player, and they had a difficult decision as well, and something similar happened, and he wound up going somewhere else, and so I think that's just part of this business of the way it's going right now. Yeah, look, I think he's super aggressive. You go and you watch, and there's a bunch of times where he's catching the ball inside the 10-yard line where he could, let it hit the ground and try to go in for a touchback. I think he only had like 4 fair catches last season. So he's aggressive in his approach. I think he's very good short area quickness. He's able to make guys miss, which, that happens a bunch. So he's going to present a challenge for us that our guys are aware of, and, we're excited for the opportunity to go see what we can do. Yeah, listen, I do. I think that, I think what you said, the key word is we have some young guys, right? And so the best experience that they can get is going out there and playing. But from what they've shown in practice in the preseason and college film, I'm excited about a group of young players that I think we can be really, really good. And, you've seen flashes of it in the preseason, and they're part of the reason why they were drafted. They're part of the reason why they made the 53 with that big picture plan in mind. I think we do have a chance to, whether it's Jonas or Stutzman or some of those younger players that we've drafted. I think the other thing that's helped us is we brought in a couple quality veterans between Terrell Burgess and Chris Rumpf and Jack Stoll, who have played special teams in this league, and they bring a calming presence to some of these young guys. So it's a good mix, and I'm really excited to get a chance to go out there and let them play. Yeah, it is a call, and it's something that we do practice, and we have several different calls that we could take the field with, right? And whether that's, hey, we want to kick the ball in the middle and try to get it to land on the goal line, or we want to kick it directional or right, or we want to try to hit the ball and get it on the ground and see if we can't get it to squib into the end zone and give them a touchback at the 20. I think part of that goes back to when you're looking at personnel as well, like, what returners do they have, and do you think one's better than the other, or have you seen things on film that something maybe gave them a challenge of being able to go field it? So it's all through our film study and game plan, and then practice as well. Look, it's not easy kicking off and getting those kicks in the landing zone and getting exactly how you want it. It takes work, and, I think you're going to see that throughout the league. I think that you're going to see a lot of kickers trying different things with the new touchback rule to the 35, and I think you're going to see some good from the kickers, and I think you're going to see some that aren't so good as well, just because it's not an easy thing to do.
Does that become productive?
Yeah, I think it has to be, right? I think if all these kickoff returns are going to be returned because you're not just going to put it into the end zone, then you have to be able to have different kicks so that the kick return team doesn't know where the ball is going every time, right? So you have to be able to change it up, and the execution's key. Like, if we want to say we're going to kick one to the deep right, and all of a sudden now the ball is maybe in the middle or goes off to the left, your coverage changes, right? So that can put our coverage players in a little bit of a disadvantage, and so it's important that those guys are as accurate as they can be. I don't know yet. I want to see. I got to be able to see it, and I don't know yet. In all reality, all we're doing is moving the kickoff team up a yard. So they're starting on the 35 instead of the 34. still the same alignment rules and that sort of deal. So I think that the thought process behind it was if we give the kicking team an extra yard closer, maybe that's going to uptick in the recovery percentage, because I know, that's kind of what the NFL is looking for, is get the percentage up there. So, but we really haven't had any yet. So, maybe mid-season when we get some on there, we'll see how it's affecting it.
Weigh his value in one spot versus another?
Yeah, I think that it's just ongoing conversations that you have amongst the staff, right? And I think we all want to get our best players to have the ball in their hands because they have a chance to score, and ultimately you're going to win the games when you score the most points. So I think strategically, whether it's offense or special teams, is, how can we get the ball in Sheed's hands, because he's one of our better playmakers. So fortunately for us, I think we've done a very good job. From a kick return standpoint, if we have some other guys that I think they can score when they touch the ball as well. So we're able to kind of be selective, and, maybe she's not on every kick return. Maybe it's in certain situations that we may want to use them. And I kind of look at that like you're going to look at the offense and defensive players as well. In certain situations, you're going to have certain people on the field of what you're trying to accomplish. And so it's just open communication, amongst the staff, and having a plan to go with it. Yeah, look, I think that's a good question. I don't know. I'm not one that really buys into too much of the injury fear, right? You're either have a helmet and you're playing on game day, or you're not, And so, and our players are competitors too. So if a player says that I know I can do this and I can help our team win, and I say to him, no, you're not going to do that because I'm scared you're going to get hurt, that doesn't send the right message from a coaching standpoint, and the player doesn't want to hear that either. We go and there's an injury risk and it's an unfortunate, and we try to do our best to eliminate injuries, but players want to go play and compete. All good? Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.